What's up, everybody? It's your favorite third-party repaints, favorite nerd, and today we are looking at TFC's Hypnos. Now, if you follow my reviews, you know I'm not crazy about the idea of third-party repaints and remolds for the most part. This stuff like this, I feel like it'd still be nice to see its own individual mold when you're paying the money that you are. I feel like it warrants a new mold. I said it with the Maketoys Defensor set with the first aid and the blades, and I'm going to say it with this as well, and I've said it among other things. Every now and then it makes sense, right? But for the most part, I feel like this is one where they could rethought at least a few things, but for the most part, it's kind of business as usual, and this is my least favorite of the set, mold-wise, so this should be a fairly quick review. We're going to set them to the side for a second because I do want to show you something that's pretty bad, which is this. This is the combiner weapon, obviously. It has like a metallic fleck finish on the plastic itself, silver paint, and then they all are split chained into the tri-chuck kind of weapon, and mine just came undone. So that's pretty awesome. I've already messed with it. So I'm going to see if I can take it apart, which it doesn't look like I can. So that's a bummer. Stupid. Pretty upsetting, but it was cool. I don't know what happened to mine. Be careful with yours, I guess, because I didn't do anything for it to warrant that. Pretty upsetting. And then we have the breast buddy, which we know fits on the chest just well. We've seen this mold before as well. You just rotate these out, and then you can rotate these pieces, if you can clear it, down. These pieces up, kick the feet out, bring the arms down, and then get it oriented. This joint here I've noticed is a little snug on mine. Doesn't give you the warm and fuzzies. I'm trying to manipulate it, but there it is. It just gets caught up on something. And voila. He's got his little buddy. Which is cool enough. You know, same articulations we've seen, just pretty much hinges at thighs, and we got a little bit of a butterfly joint, but the paint is good. We got red paint and silver paint, metallic fleck finish on this gray, which is the same as the weapon I just broke. Red paint on the eyes, silver paint on the horns. So all in all, pretty cool little bugger. And I guess I should mention you can flip this back and then flip this stuff back. Kind of recollapse it, and you can have his gun, and I like to have that back part up. I'm not sure, I can look real quick. Actually, they showed these being down and these like that, but I don't like that as much. These down, I don't like that as much. I think I like these up and these out, but you know, it's whatever suits, whatever floats your boat, right? I'm not here to be an iceberg for you. And I think that that's pretty goofy, and I think that it looks pretty plain without it, so mine will always be on the chest. And now we'll talk about him. So the head is on a ball peg, and it's also on this little flap that I have a hard time keeping down on mine. Individual results may vary, I guess. It has the red light piping in the back. It has blue face paint. The eyes have the red translucent that follow through, and once again, no red painted eyes on the beast head per usual, which I still think is a bummer. Articulation, let's see, it goes up to there, down, let's see if you can see it better, up to there, down to there, side to side is fine. The back of the bot is very kibbly. We got this big little bit of business, and mine has scratches on the transparent plastic or the translucent plastic on the back, but yeah. The chest, we got purple plastic, white plastic, red paint on the white plastic. The waist swivel is the only joint that's like a firm joint. The rest of them are not loose, but definitely not tight by any means. Alright, shoulders. We got a hinge that goes up to there on a fairly wonky joint, but it's fine. And then the swivel is built in there as well. bicep swivel, single jointed elbow that still gets you 90 degrees, wrist swivel, and then the hand is fixed for a 5mm port with the open hand sculpt. The red paint, silver paint, all that stuff. We'll look at that a bit more in tank mode or whatever it's supposed to be, drill mode, I guess. Red paint there, which is actually done. It's actually pretty shoddy work right there. Much cleaner on the other side. But the detailings and articulation stuff on this side are identical. So, the hips are universals, non-ratcheted, and they're loose. At least on mine. It's also a heavy leg, but, you know, they should have been ratcheted and that would have fixed this problem. Come on. There you are. And we have a single joint knee that gets you 90 degrees. Not the prettiest thing to look at, but I guess it'll do. Big, chunky, monkey calves. All sorts of detailings. Red, silver paint in there. Gold and red paint there. Silver paint on the tank. The tank, or the drill or whatever. Actually, that mode looks pretty cool. And then for the ankles, we have a tilt down. And the rocker is on a hinge, so it's a fake rocker, but it works all the same. So pretty much identical to the other fella, with a few minor exceptions, and that's him. And there he is with the other guys, which we all know from the other 4 reviews, is that it's about the same size as an MP car or the other kind of combiner pieces that we're used to from the Warbitron scale combiners. Let's get him transformed. So you open up these flaps. We'll get the arms first, because I hate the legs mainly. Mainly that's why. Also, you need to spin this. I had this wrong initially. When we started the video, I just forgot as I was transforming it back. But you need to spin the forearm. It has a forearm swivel too, I guess, technically for articulation, but it ends up looking silly. You can see how far the forearm comes up over the elbow. And then spin this as well, the shoulder pad, and then just hinge everything so that it lines up and sits together. So we'll spin this shoulder pad, and then let's see. There you are, girl. And she's good. Now we'll do the legs. I hate these. I hated them on the other one. I hate them on this one. But you got to open up the white part, open up the purple part. When you push the purple part through, because of this foot, this bumper here, if you bring it down, you can spin this around right now. You can't do it later. I'll show you why. Then bring this bar here. It's up there, and you got to have it back here, and then you got to feed the foot back through it. And this part eats me up because of how tight the ratchet is, and getting it to stay in place while you're manipulating it. But is that it? And then you can bring this purple part down and close it in. And it still is not right. But that's as close as it's going to get for right now. We'll try again on the other side. You can then put that foot up. I'm sure there's, I don't exactly remember the right way to do this, but to me I think that looks best. So let's do that. Let's open this up. Oh, and you want to rock this down. So, very Combiner Wars of you, bro. Selena Bromez. Alright, open this up. Open the purple part up in the back. Feed the foot through. This one's even more difficult because you got a peg there. Once out, spin, get this bumper out of the way. Spin this to the back. And then fight with this thing by moving this hinge to the back, and then that plugs in to there. I'm going to try a different method this time. I'm sure there's a technique to this that I just don't have mastered. but that's okay. It's got to come, like, this has to sit up, and this has to lay back down, basically. But you need to have it a little bit up in order to fit it through there, and then it's hard to get it back in and flat. That's the challenge, and it's the challenge because of the ratchet of the foot. So, whatever. We're going to do the best we can, folks. And then collapse the thigh. Close it up. Close these. Now, you have to kind of open this backpack up a bit to bring these sliding pieces down. And you can just keep them out of the way. Open the head up, just get it out of the way. Rotate the combiner port up, and then these pieces will collapse further up, just like the tank one. And let's see. This piece here, open up the drill. This piece here spins. And then this piece comes back down, but this stuff has to close up too. There. And good to go. So it's cool, you know, it looks pretty cool. You can put that up on top, of course, if you like. I wouldn't. You can open it up and, you know, you can articulate this a bit up here. It's supposed to tab in, but, you know, you can articulate it a bit if you'd like. It does tab in. It's not like I'm saying it's supposed to, like it doesn't. It does tab in, you see, but if you want to untab it, you can have a little bit more playability with it. Red translucent plastic, all the detailings and stuff look good. The vents, the lights, all that stuff looks pretty good. I think that overall it does a pretty good job in vehicle mode. I hate the leg transformation. I hated it on the other one. I hate it on this one. It eats me up. That's probably part of the reason why, but yeah, it's fair. Let's put it next to our buddy. There you go. Let's go to combine mode. This spins also. It looked like it did. Okay. So we have to do the feet. So just open this stuff up here so that you can get access to the feet. Let me get a little bit of room. And we got to undo basically all of our hard work. So open here. Open on the back. Alright, take the opportunity now to spin this around, to put it back the way you had it, and then this has got to rotate up, back in the way it was in robot mode, so that hinge is up at the top, and then the foot is all the way down. And then this time you can just close it, which is a nice little touch. Alright. Same for the other side. And that will close. Open, open, spin, hinge to the top, foot to the bottom, and close back up. And then you can, I hate this. I hate the transformation of these feet. I really sincerely do. All right, spin this around, and I forget which leg is which right now, but let's go on instinct. And then these come back up. All right. Now, this is same as the other one, but you just you gotta spin this around to the back, open this, tuck the drill back in, tuck the head in, and you just kind of collapse that as far as she'll go. Here, you take one of these and you squish it, and then you take this bit here, untab it from the back, and slide it down. And as you do so, you tab it back in to this outer shell, like pretty much like that. And then this one plugs back in proper. And that's your foot mode. I'm going to check with the instructions and make sure we've got it pretty much together, and then we'll take a look. Actually, these split, I think. Yeah. You know, this is the part of this combiner that I'm really unsure about, is how these feet are going to play out. I think it's cool the way that they're included. I hate the transformation of them, but I think it's cool the way that they're included. I'm just not sure how it's going to handle its own weight. And there he is next to, and this would actually be the back. So there he is next to Generation Toy Scrapper. So it's going to be a big boy. He'll fit right in with the Warbitron line. And this part here is just to allow for the knee to bend, you know, to allow this ratchet connector port to bend down is why that's off center. Final thoughts wise, the negatives here are kind of the same negatives on the other one. You know, he's clunky, he's blocky, he's chunky. The stuff doesn't, you know, he's a hard time kind of getting out of his own way. The leg transformation is kind of a bear. You know, it's the same type of stuff. There's nothing new under the sun. One thing I do want to point out, this little piece here in the top neck flap, you got to have this. I'm not sure if I specified this before. You got to have this double hinge system, how it is here. You got to have the dark gray piece kind of up at a 45-degree angle, and then the other one down at a 45-degree angle in order to get that to slide in. And when it comes in hand and packaging, it's not all the way in, and you could feel that yours is not right, but it is. It just needs to be sorted. But yeah, there's nothing new under the sun here. It's the same sort of situation as the other one. The things that were frustrating about that one are frustrating about this one, and vice versa. The biggest problem that this guy specifically has going against him is that he's a repaint. You know, and I know that's part of Transformers history. You know, trust me, I grew up in the 80s. I'm well aware, and I get it, but it is, you know, and Takara's guilty of it too, and so are these third-party companies at times, but it is just kind of a bummer when you spend this amount of money on something and it's pretty much the same horse and pony show. You know, it just leaves you a little bit unfulfilled. You know what it does? It makes you not excited about the product because you're familiar with it. You know it's just it in different colors and a different head, you know, for the most part. And it's just, it makes it difficult to be excited about it. Sometimes I think people are excited about other things when they're talking about this.
Oh, sweet man, what's that?
You mean these sweet headphones?
No, the toy, the box that you had.
Oh, it's a repaint.
Oh, never mind.
It's a repaint.
Okay.
But the materials are pretty good. It reminds me very much so of Warbitron. This whole kind of line has, and it's definitely has a Warbitron feeling, which I think is superior to a typical TFC feel. So overall, this line pretty much has felt better than anything TFC has kind of done in the past, for the most part. I would have liked to have seen some ratchets and those universals on the thighs. That would have made a huge difference. And I would have liked for some of the kibble to have cleaned up a bit better. The same sort of deal as the other one, right? So I don't want to sound too much like a broken record. You know, and the other problem is, let's face it, right? Let's be honest with each other. Let's level with ourselves. Let's have a moment, okay? Let's you and me. We'll have a moment where nobody's judging. Nobody needs to show how much more they know about Transformers. I know more about these Transformers. They're Japanese Transformers, and aren't I so smart? Nobody cares, Mac. Here's the truth, right? Nobody's waiting on this guy. Nobody's like, finally, this guy. Everybody is in for this thing for the Lio Kaiser, and everything seems to be shaping up fairly well for the Lio Kaiser. The only thing that concerns me are the feet, but it's really too soon to tell. However, quality-wise, build-wise, everything sort of seems to be falling into place. So we're one bot away, which I think is another repaint, or maybe a slight remold and retool, but we're one bot away from seeing if this thing is going to work. So fingers crossed, one like equals one prayer and all that kind of stuff, and hope that this thing turns out. I don't see anything that necessarily says it won't, but the feet do set my spidey sense off. Oh, I got this bit all muddied up, but it doesn't matter. And yeah, we'll take a look at him as soon as we can. Because at the end of the day, like my buddy Greg from Mercy says, all this guy really needs to do is be afoot. And as long as he can be afoot, he'll be fine. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.